Willie D. Live.
Let's talk about your book, man, The Black Box.
Yes.
The Black Box. Um, what was the takeaway, the main takeaway that you was hoping to impress upon people?
There are a lot of things. I tried to write the book in a way that would be accessible for people who don't read. So you can read each individual chapter as a separate story, and at the end I kind of summarize like what you need to take away from this specific story. But in total, despite it being an autobiography, I wanted it to be a story that you read and instead of thinking about me, you're constantly thinking about you. And I think people don't think about themselves enough in the right ways. Like a young man might ask me, or even a mature man might say, hey, what do you think I should do? Like, what business should I get into? What product should I start with? And I'm like, well, you didn't tell me anything about yourself. Do you have kids? Do you have any education, professional skills? And so we don't think enough about ourselves. What's special about us? What are our unique things? What is something that someone would want to pay you to do, like you specifically? And so the book drives you to think about your own story so that you can be the hero of your own story. The good news about the book is that it reads like a movie, and it's all true facts. You can Google everything referenced in the book, and it's all real life, which is, I think, perhaps increasingly going to be a great value as the world becomes more fake. So the reason I truly wrote that book was because I had a professor when I was 16 years old, Dr. Beverly Tate, and she kept asking me over probably like 10 years to write the book. And the reason I didn't write it is because I was like, I haven't accomplished anything meaningful. I was like, I'm not a multi-millionaire, because she started asking me to write the book maybe when I was like 23. And she said the reason she wanted me to write the book is because I'm the only person she knows, because I started community college at age 16. Not because I was smart, because I was like poorly behaved in high school and I had to take a test to get out. My grades were terrible. It's a long story. So I ended up community college at 16. And she says, you're the only person I know who is actually a criminal and you successfully transitioned into real corporate life. Not as a rapper, not as an entertainer, but you did it the traditional way. And I want to be able to tell that story to Latino and Black kids that I teach in my English course. I want to teach your book and your story because it's real and there's nothing like it. There's this guy named the other Wes Moore. Shout out to Wes Moore. He's, I think he might be governor of Maryland or maybe mayor of Baltimore, I forget. But shout out to him. I actually taught his book to my students when I taught sixth grade, but the challenge is that when you're teaching, and Baltimore is a gritty place, and like 10% of the population was on heroin when I was teaching these kids. A lot of them don't have parents who've been raised by their grandparents. A lot of real orphans there, in my opinion. But when you teach the other Wes Moore to kids in Baltimore, it feels so hollow because bro went off to like an elite military school, boarding school, and not to put him down. I mean, your life is what it is, but he didn't start where they started. And so that's why I wrote the book. I didn't want to write the book. Only time I sat down to get the book finished was at the time I had an office in Puerto Rico. And that's pretty much where I was headquartered. And we had a huge deal on the table. And you'll notice natural disasters. I don't know, is this God pushing me in a certain direction? There was Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Maria were coming. And the news will tell you, hey, there's a hurricane coming. And I had the capital to leave. And I remember I asked this Puerto Rican guy in my boxing gym. Puerto Ricans love boxing and basketball. And I said, hey, there's about to be a Category 5 hurricane coming. Like, should I leave? He was like, Papa, it's no problem. It's no problem. Every year, it's hurricane season. It's no problem. Walmart, they just want to sell the water. It's no problem. Papa, you stay here. You'll be fine. I 80 years old. It's never a problem, Papa. Every year they do this. It's a lie. It's just go around. It's no problem. And so I'm there trying to make this bag. I got to deal with all of the nursing schools on the island, the whole island. So I got a big deal pending. And so I want to stay there to, push it along. So I decided to stay. All my friends are leaving, though, mind you, like the business class, I was like, they were leaving. And so I stayed there, and the first hurricane was bad, but not devastating. Electricity came back on fairly quickly. I even reached out to my contact in the university. I said, hey, are we still good with this deal? He was like, yeah, no problem. He was like, our campus is pretty much good to go. Wi-Fi still working. We're going to do the deal. Then the second hurricane hit, and it was catastrophic. And I pretty much got trapped on the island. No electricity, no Wi-Fi, no hot water. My condo was completely destroyed. My office was fine because it was actually in a government building. So it lets you know how the government takes care of themselves. And I had a luxury condo, but it was completely destroyed. And at that point, in that darkness, I decided to finish the book because I didn't have any kids. All the homies got kids. You hear me? They had kids early, irresponsibly. And I did the responsible black guy thing, which turns out Pookie is a genius. We could talk about that another time. But I didn't have any kids. I didn't really have anything to leave. And I was like, damn, like God tried to kill your boy 2 times in a row. I might not make it. We don't know what's going to happen. Let me finish this book and just like leave something of me and my experience here on earth. So that's what I wrote at that time. And it was similar to my experience as a teacher. I wanted to create something that would make people's path easier. That's why I became a teacher in Baltimore, because I figured out that education was the only reason I got up out of the situation I was in. Nothing else helped me out of there.